This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, the premier auto collision center in Omaha, 4 metro area locations. Glad you have joined us. You're not going to find another show that talks about the growth and development of Omaha. We focus on business, construction, real estate development, really anything related to making Omaha bigger, more prosperous, and more vibrant. My co-host, Trenton Magid, has the weekend off, and in his place, we have a familiar voice from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate, Jorge Sotolongo. Good morning, Jorge.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Well, thanks for doing that. We appreciate you joining in as you regularly do. And a lot of times when people hear your voice, they think, oh, it's going to be the call-in show. That's not the case today.
No, I got the big boy chair today.
And believe me, it's a big chair. And so we're going to be talking about a lot of things in the day show. A little bit later, we're going to bring on Mike Moylan from Shamrock Development, going to be talking about a cool redevelopment in the downtown area. But first, we had a Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review this week. Sarah Baker Hansen, the premier food critic in town, writes for us and does such an outstanding job. Of course, the Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews are brought to you by Cheer Athletics. Cheer Athletics is the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. This is a place where your kids and grandkids can learn teamwork, communication skills, leadership, and get in great shape while they're at it. Cheer Athletics in Omaha is located in Papillion, just southwest of Highways 50 and 370. Check them out. Okay, it was Salted Edge. Jorge, have you tried Salted Edge yet?
I have not. I have heard amazing things. I want to go out there. I just, I haven't had time.
I'm in the same boat. Salted Edge, I've heard nothing but great things, and Sarah's review was quite positive. This restaurant is in a building called A View West Shores. It's a very nice commercial building that overlooks the lake in West Shores. West Shores is that residential lake west of 243rd and West Dodge Road. And Sarah describes the restaurant like something you would see in downtown in terms of niceness and in terms of cuisine. It has kind of that downtown, midtown Blackstone feel, but it's clear the hell out in far west Omaha. So if you want to have that kind of chef-driven experience and you live out in West O or all those lake communities in Valley or Waterloo, what have you, this appears to be a good place to go and try.
It seems like quite the destination. People are going from all over town to get there. So
yeah.
I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, I like I say, I've heard the same thing. And I often, Jorge, find myself in this situation where, Sarah will write a review about a restaurant and I'm like, oh, I got to go try it. I got to go try it. And I feel like a guy that goes to a lot of restaurants, but yet a lot of them that she writes about, I have not yet tried. Last week was a perfect example. She wrote about Tupelo Honey downtown, hadn't tried it. So this week I went there. I had a meeting yesterday downtown, got over at about 11:25, and I thought, I'm going to go. So I went and sat down at the bar at Tupelo Honey, which Sarah reviewed last week, and it was quite a good experience. So
I'm excited to try that too. I've doing a lot of drives down there lately just to kind of visualize all the new activity. And I'm excited for all the new concepts that are coming out right there on that corridor. Yeah, it looks like right on the corner of that building, the Brick Line Memoir is getting close. Oh, and I will say another downtown restaurant I tried just this week, Wednesday, the family, we went there, Cibo Vino, 11th and Jackson. How was that?
Good. Yeah, it's really good pasta dishes, good cocktail, kind of a fun, cool looking atmosphere.
I'm like you. I think I'm caught up, but every time I see the newsletter or some news come out, it's like I can't even keep up with the new restaurants anymore at this point.
Yeah, it's tough, but we will persevere and give it our best shot.
It's our job. It's our duty.
Fight through the adversity. Well, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. They know mortgages and have known mortgages for well over 30 years. They operate from their office near 114th and Davenport, just south of 114th and Dodge. More importantly, they help you with mortgages, FHA, VA, conventional, some specialty mortgages as well. And the nice thing about them, as a mortgage broker, they shop the market. They're not beholden to one bank, one lender. They can find out what is right for you. They meet with you, very customer service oriented. and then recommend the best lending, borrowing situation, if you will, for your new house. So if you're thinking about getting your piece of the American dream or a different or bigger piece of the American dream, definitely reach out to Eagle Mortgage. You can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. We have big news during this segment this week, and we're really going to focus mostly on a couple stories because it's just that big. It's $1 billion big. In case you missed it, the Omaha Airport Authority this week announced formally, we knew it was coming, but they announced formally that the Eppley Airport Terminal will be completely about 99 to 100% overhauled. We're talking about a $950 million expense. We're going to see the terminal size nearly doubled, going from 375,000 square feet to 646,000 square feet. Centralized TSA security screening, one long concourse. You'll no longer have half of the gates on one overcrowded pod and half the gates on the other with two security lines. You'll have one big, modern, efficient security line. And then perhaps most importantly, for those of us who get to the airport early, we'll finally have space for bars, restaurants, retail shops, past security. Right now, when you go to Eppley and you get past security, Jorge, it sometimes is shoulder to shoulder. And if you're hungry, if you're thirsty, good luck. I mean, I know in that North Terminal, if you have a flight in the morning, that Scooters line is intolerable.
I know, it's true. And we just don't have enough good options. You know, it's exciting to think about what we're going to have now.
Yeah, in fact, on the restaurant front, it'll be interesting to see which local concepts come in now that there's going to be space. My guess is some of the local restaurateurs and retailers are probably thinking, hey, you know, maybe that's a place where we want to get a little exposure. But it doesn't stop just there. We're adding 2 gates, going from 20 gates to 22 gates. A lot of people have asked Grow Omaha in the last few days since this came out, doubling the space and only getting 2 new gates. We actually don't really need more gates from a capacity perspective right now. They don't even use 100% of the gates they have right now. The more important thing is space, room for security, room to wait for your flights, and as we already said, room for all of this stuff. The other thing that's going to take up a lot of space, an international arrivals hall.
I cannot wait.
That is cool. Yeah.
A customs desk. And we identified this in the renderings early on.
We did.
And I'm kind of glad to see it come true because we were just sitting there, you know, waiting on our hands. Are we going to get international flights or not? Yeah.
Jorge and I kind of nerd out on some of this stuff. You know, he's on the planning board. So we sometimes take a peek at some of these plans that come before the planning board. And we're like always trying to guess this stuff. But yeah, it was clear from the early renderings that they intended to have a sterile corridor. There will be 2 of the gates will be international equipped. Now, there is no guarantee that there will be regularly scheduled international commercial flights. The airlines have to decide that that's the right thing to do, but it'll make it possible for that. Plus, we also have to remember Eppley is already an international airport in that a lot of private planes, a lot of charter planes will fly in directly from other countries and land there. And then now they'll just have a better customs and arrival hall for that. And I'll go on record saying I would not be a bit surprised if we have a nonstop to somewhere in the Caribbean or Mexico within 5 years. There are a lot of markets that are barely bigger than Omaha that do have those.
Yep, I agree. I think this is a step clearly in that direction. I can't wait to see.
As far as timeline is concerned, the grand total project won't be completed until deep into 2028. And if you're a person who's saying, oh my God, that's more than 4 years from now, don't worry. It looks like a good chunk of the new terminal will actually be in use around 2026, only a couple years from now. It's just that there's so many moving pieces and they have to open this part before they can tear down that part because they're not building a new terminal. They're going to. This is a build the plane while it's flying moment.
Yeah, I know I was talking to my wife about this last night. How are they going to logistically make that work? But I'm confident they will.
Yeah, in fact, there's a really cool video on the Omaha Airport Authority's Facebook page. I've seen it a few other places on social media as well. And it's literally got a guy with pieces of a model of the terminal, both old and new. And in the video, I guess it's not the most sophisticated video, but he sits there and picks up pieces with his hands of old chunks of the terminal and then puts into the new replacement. And he talks about the timeline. And if you watch that video, you'll get how it's going to happen.
If only development were that easy.
If only it was, and if only it was that cheap too. I suppose we would like that as well. Hey, one other thing in the news, that billion-dollar news took up most of our time, but we also want to mention, speaking of billion-dollar projects, that the fate of a proposed $1 billion, 4,000-acre lake along the Platte River west of Gretna should be known by this summer. That reported by Nebraska Examiner. 2 studies are underway. One study will determine the feasibility of the lake because there's concern about all of the drinking water wells for MUD and the Lincoln Water Service that are in that area. And the other study is going to assess whether the local philanthropic community and local real estate developers are interested in supporting this thing, because it would be about, 90% privately funded. Big deal. But Jorge, if we can make it happen, a big lake would help Omaha.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that would do tourism-wise, real estate values. It's going to explode potentially.
It'd be like 7 miles long. And wow. This thing would be one of the key things we've been missing, that outdoor recreation thing, what we're a little bit weak on compared to some other areas. But the results of those 2 studies should be known this summer. And if they don't come back favorably, probably is going to stop thinking about that lake.
So if they do it, will you move out there?
I might go take a boat ride out there.
Okay.
I'm probably if I move anywhere, I might go a little more urban than that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I might go a little more inland.
Just for purposes of the show, I guess. You gotta be an urban radio talk show host.
What about you? Are you going to move out to the lake?
Maybe second, third house. One of those.
Yeah.
Opportunities. Eventually, maybe.
I just hope I can roll like you do someday. Folks, that's your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. Going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to bring on Mike Moylan. He is the head of Shamrock Development. Going to talk about a very cool project that he is doing downtown called the Key Line Building, an historic renovation. And we'll talk to Mike about a couple other downtown issues. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Jorge Sotolongo in for Trenton Magid this week on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Nice work.
All right, back in 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes.
No, sure.
All right, now you're on TV.
TV, radio, you get the whole multimedia experience here. It's posted on growma.com.
Come back next week, we'll be in VR too.
I hope it does.
Kind of could see it happening.
I so hope it does.
Hey, real quick, before we jump into that Key Line, what else is Shamrock working on? Because I got a big vacancy at 10th and Dodge, a rare, and it is all about me. So I would like to.
This is you. This is the mic show.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
didn't make it on the way of the world, but for my family to hear or something, they might get it. They might finally figure it out.
Did you see the way the guys on the radio respected me, kids?
Yes, exactly. I'll try that.
EagleMortgageCompany.com.
I don't know if they're listening or not.
Buying or selling a home is a
Their game got
big
canceled.
deal. In today's
They played for
complex
Pius, and they were
market,
playing
significant
Jesuit Middle
interest
School,
changes
and they
more housing
kill everybody.
for
They are
buyers.
so good.
Jesuit
Like
is?
triple.
Or Pius is good.
Pius.
Oh,
No,
Pius.
our Jesuit Middle School. Pius were not that great. To be honest, we had 2 teams, and they.
But Jesuit was pretty rough.
Where are they playing?
To be the best at what we do.
Pius, and they're playing Jesuit Middle School.
The basketball?
Jesuit Academy and basketball. Sorry.
Visit RitterSellHomes.com and contact us today.
Yeah, but I
Tired of
think
walking into a dull and uninspiring
because that is
workspace? Want to
one of the
inject some
2
life into your
minutes we're
environment?
missing.
Look no further than Ren's,
Big
the local company that
outdoor
produces stunning
recreation.
interior
Quality of life of the metropolitan area would be
window film to recognition and history walls.
dramatically. Lincoln always had
We have
that
the
private lake
expertise to
downtown.
transform your
And
space.
never, I've always known about it. I don't know if I've ever actually been on it, but just having that there
We've got you
seems
covered.
like
Check us out today at
it added to the
rins.com. That's
allure of
REN.
90 seconds.
Do you think there would be an opportunity for some commercial development there as well?
Everything I've read about it, there would be a lot. Actually,
I mean, I think that's crucial.
There would be commercial. There would be a lot of residences around it, and
do an amusement park like Okoboji. That's really been a stronghold for Okoboji and resort.
You know where I think we should have like something like Arnold's Park, not big. Like that Arnold's Park in Okoboji is perfect size because
60 seconds.
call me crazy, and I know there are other plans for it. Lot B. Lot B downtown.
You know,
Because you're surrounded, Mecca could even be involved in it. You're surrounded by hotels, ballpark, the convention center.
Could be kind of a Universal Studios vibe.
Yeah, streetcars come in. And all the hotels are down there. And you're already starting to establish some of that mentality
Halloween, you
with
have
the
a whole,
parks.
all the seasons and holidays, you could like totally change it.
Yeah, the museums are there.
30 seconds,
Or Lot
bumper
D.
launches at the end of
Lot
spot.
D, yeah, if you want to go a little further out.
well, I mean, just Lot B there.
It's developable.
Yeah, it's so much more like a building potentially.
You're choosing a
Nearage
family-owned and
is the other
operated
name I was
repair
trying to
shop
remember.
that's been
Nearage.
top
Yeah,
choice in
yeah.
I met with
Omaha
him
for
yesterday
over
by
20
chance. He's got a lot of things
I'm
going.
Darcy
Yeah, he's
Dickman,
good.
and
15.
our
Yeah,
family
we talk
cares
a lot
your
about that.
Yeah.
Accidents are hard, but choosing a
Alrighty.
repair
Bumper and
shop.
10.
Visit dingmans.com. That's dingmans.com
Oh,
for
every
the
time
top
that thing
choice
goes
in
off,
collision repair. At
throws me
Dingmans,
off.
we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting in the big studio high above Underwood Avenue, joined by Jorge Sotolongo of NAI NP Dodge and the City of Omaha Planning Board, substituting for Trenton Magid this week. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. You can find out more about Dingman's by just looking at their website, their Facebook page, and if you look into Dingman's, you're going to like what you see. Good company, dedicated to serving customers. And they are famous for making your car as good as new. By the way, not just collision, they also have mechanical service as well. And you can find Dingman's 4 metro area locations, 120th and Maple, 144th and Industrial Road. They're in Papillion. They're in Midtown along Saddle Creek. They are there to serve you, Dingman's Collision Center. All right, we're going to talk about a cool redevelopment project downtown, the Keyline building. And we have with us Mike Moylan, head of Shamrock Development. Good morning, Mike. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for having me here. Jorge, appreciate you being here too. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you for coming.
Well, Mike, before we start talking about the Keyline building, why don't you give us a quick overview of Shamrock Development and other projects that you're involved in?
Oh, thank you. We've been around for 25 years or so in downtown. We primarily focus on mixed-use development in downtown Omaha. We were behind 1000 Dodge Building and then DJ's Dugout, the Paxton, the Barker, 1501 Apartments, and most recently the Capitol District. And now we've gone out west to 17th Street to do the Keyline Building. And so right now, primarily, we have a rare vacancy coming available at 10th and Dodge, where 1000 Dodge Events was, next door to Nosh. And that's a really high-profile location at the Capitol District. And so we're spending on time. We've got that listed with Lerner Company, and they're working on getting a restaurant or other signature tenant in that location. It's right by DJ's and Nosh and Moe and Curly's down there near the Capitol District. And we've got other properties around town that we've been, just making sure they're shored up in these interest rate times and things like that. We were never too much in jeopardy, but regardless, you got to be strategic about what you're doing. And then now we started focusing on the Keyline building a year or two ago.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Keyline building. What is that, 17th and Harney. Historic building. Kind of give us a little overview of what it is and what you guys are doing there.
Well, it was built in 1911. I won't go through the whole history, but it was built in 1911. It's right across east from the Douglas County Courthouse and now caddy corner from the Juvenile Center. And it's, before I go too far, it's really fascinating to stop. There's one door to the front door of the offices upstairs, and there's not a lawyer in Omaha that doesn't have some sort of connection to the Keyline building because of its proximity to the courthouse and the history. And whenever I tell any lawyer or anybody that ever worked downtown that we're involved in the Keyline, it puts a smile on their face. It's got a really, really fantastic history. And the amount of people that have crossed over that threshold since 1911 for whatever purpose really just fascinates me when I go in and out of the building from time to time. So it was built by a guy named Oscar Keyline, who was from Council Bluffs, whose family were huge ranchers. The rest of the family was big ranchers out in western Nebraska. And it's just basically it's a building of a bunch of small offices on 6 floors of offices above retail. And each office is about 10 by 14, but they're connected by doors and all the original doors and hardware and tiles in place. It's got this incredible historic charm, but we brought in a lot of the modern conveniences that you would want to have in an office. So basically, we jokingly said we're kind of like WeWork with no free beer and no ping pong. You can come down, shut your door and work, or you can open your door and be part of the Keyline community. Then on the first floor, we have some retail tenants. Backline Comedy Theater's been there quite a while, and they're doing a little renovation as we speak to get it cleaned up, and we've helped them get through that. They've been successful since like 14, I think they've been there. Bob's Cafe and Grill is a stronghold in downtown. It's been there for over 20 years. It's a fantastic lunch restaurant and catering operation. They're just wonderful downstairs. Mexitly is a new Mexican restaurant on Harney Street there, and they're doing very well. They took over where Oasis used to be. And then we got one little vacancy. We're working on a dessert place, and then the hard corner, a UPS store, is putting in a UPS store, which will service all of downtown.
I love this project. I had the pleasure of going and visiting Mike at his office in the Keyline and got a good feel of the hallways and the doors and how the layout that he kind of has already mentioned. It does feel historic, but it feels renewed, and it's a really respectful renovation of the property, and that all the property around the city, and the courthouse and everything is an incredible place of downtown that I think hasn't really been addressed in a while. I mean, there's so many cool buildings and there's so much connectivity already built in. So I'm really excited to see, and I love the commercial tenants. McSeatley, I think, is one of the best Mexican restaurants we've ever had in Omaha.
It's fantastic. I can't not get down there so much. I eat so much more Mexican now.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, no, the chef Cardenas there, he's very well trained. I mean, this guy has an incredible background, so I love his food.
Good. Thanks for being there.
Well, there's another restaurant I haven't tried yet that I have to get to, so maybe
we have to go.
We should go down for lunch, Jorge.
Let's do it.
And then
I'll buy. If you're willing to come down, and see me, I'm willing to buy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, but Mike, you talked about Bob's Grill. That renovated as well just recently as part of the project.
Yes, they it had the building was owned by a family that they just weren't focused on office space. They were focused on residential. And so the building just kind of needed a little extra push and love, and some of the spaces interior, and Bob's was one of them. It had just not been touched for a long time. So we sat down with them and say, what can we do to help you for the next 20 years or whatever? And we they just moved one wall and cleaned it all up, and then we put in all new heating and air and all this stuff. Unfortunately, the big investment is the stuff you can't see, except for the storefront. The storefront turned out fantastic, and Lundross Construction and Pella did a great job of combining together, led by Leo Daly, and it was fantastic the way the storefronts turned out down there.
Well, Mike, this Keyline building project is right on Harney Street, which means that it's on the future streetcar, and we expect to see actual streetcar construction commence this year. And a lot of us are pretty excited about what that could mean for downtown Omaha's future. What do you think about it? And what do you see happening development-wise because of this streetcar investment?
Well, my elevator speech in the streetcar is, first of all, look at the spine of transportation we built from 114th and Dodge to Elkhorn. What if that was a gravel road or something for that? The amount of development, the quality of the development, the tax base of the development on this new transportation corridor because of the style. It's different than Blondo, Pacific, Maple, Center. They're just the corridor is such an important corridor to move people along. That's what caused all that permanent economic development. Same thing's going to happen downtown because you're going to build a transportation corridor in an urban environment that an interstate's not going to help. So in this case, I feel Omaha has a bigger advantage because we're connecting two of our biggest economic drivers from the Med Center to downtown. You can't park any more people downtown. You can't park any more people at the Med Center. This is going to be able to allow that, spread that out. Both those places, you have to build 2 parking stalls for people to work there, one at their home or apartment if they're midtown, or but in this case now, because of the transportation corridor of the streetcar, you're going to most of the people, or many of the people, will be able to leave their car at home, opening up all that land and investment for hospital buildings, office buildings, apartment buildings, and things like that. That makes sense.
I think that's a great elevator pitch, honestly, for the streetcar that I hadn't thought about. You know, the example of Dodge Street, I think going from gravel to concrete, all that infrastructure, that is exactly the analogy for the streetcar right now, and I think it makes a lot of sense. The other thing I'll note is the level of collaboration. We've got employers, developers, and the city all collaborating together on a downtown project, which is what we were clamoring about 5, 7, 8, 10 years ago for the fate of downtown. And so I think when you have all these great minds, great efforts together, it's going to be a success.
Well, and I would say we definitely chose to move forward with the Keyline building because of the streetcar was one of the elements about it. It's just like West Dodge Road's connecting neighborhoods and the whole community to in that type of environment. We're connecting all these neighborhoods. Downtown, just like West Omaha, is made up of neighborhoods. And the neighborhood we're at here with the Keyline building is Courthouse and Howard Street. And there's a ton of new investments that can occur and will occur because of the streetcar investment. And it's going to connect us to all these other communities from Med Center down to downtown.
And Mike, before we let you go, we need to have you give your famous analogy about how downtown development compares to suburban development miles to blocks.
Well, that's funny. I was talking to our management company at the Keyline building, Barron, John, and David Kerrigan. They've been doing a great job of managing the building for us while we get it developed. I also got to give a shout out to our tenants. A lot of people appreciate what we're doing at the Keyline building. People become attached to it. And we've had hardly any complaints with all the noise and dust and everything. So I just want to thank our tenants for bearing through this as well. But to answer your question, your point is, I've said for a long time, blocks downtown are like miles out west. So if you want to live by like West Roads and you're a mile away, life is good. You're back and forth and everything's good. 10 miles away, that's just not the case. Downtown, that is blocks. If you're a block away from your office, life is good. If you're 10 blocks, it's not. But it also defines the differences in the neighborhoods of these things, just in downtown, let alone midtown downtown. So we have so many different communities. And now that we're at 17th and Harney with the Keyline building, we are seeing this, the neighborhood and being part of a smaller neighborhood within the big neighborhood of downtown.
I just love these. These are like golden nuggets we're getting this morning from the downtown legend himself.
Ever since the first time I ever heard him say that, I've always loved that. Mike, thanks for joining us. Good luck to you with the rest of the Keyline building project and whatever else Shamrock Development might have up its sleeve for the future.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being out here, and thanks for your show. Congratulations, like 20 years.
Yeah,
I think you guys
20
are doing
years.
this, and it's really an important. Everybody I know, especially in the industry, looks forward to hearing what's going on. So thank you guys.
We appreciate that. Mike Moylan, head of Shamrock Development. Going to break for the news, and when we come back, Jorge and I will have a few other items to present before you. You don't want to miss any of that. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
We mourned the apparent death.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Somehow, after 20 years, I'm able to rise to the occasion. But you're right. The first 10 minutes before, I'm like, oh.
It's kind of funny.
Thanks. It is important what you guys do, and everybody does look forward to it. I was not just making it up. I had to throw that Barron one in there. Those guys have really worked hard for me, so I got to pull that one in the last minute.
That's good.
But they've done a good job. Yeah, they're young guys, and they're ambitious, and you know them. David probably run across him, and John's cousin, and
I don't know John.
he's the manager side of what they're doing, and they're hard-working guys, and they've done a great job, so we're very happy. Because we're the king of outsource. I've only got 2 employees.
Happy New Year from
It's
I do like how you operate up in the Keyline. Like, it's very like guerrilla style. I like that you're on site. It's like you took your office and put it on the construction site, and you've done that every time. And I love that. I think it's just
kind of the rifle approach instead of the shotgun. And the shotgun approach, I don't think anybody could have made it through COVID our size, or the people that did. It was hard, because when you got like 20 projects or 5 projects going, and you have a staff of 30 people, that would have been hard. And I'm not an HR guy. I'm a builder.
I get it. I think it's
so. Should I stay or go? Or?
It's totally up to you. Yeah, you're welcome to stick around as long as you want. Yeah.
Show's almost over. Stick around.
Yeah. It's like it's fun to watch sausage get made, right?
Yeah.
I have our Uncut audience watching sausage get made.
Yeah, right.
He says sausage about 3 times per episode for some reason.
Yeah, sorry to keep mentioning that. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, Jorge.
Every time I'm in Trenton's chair, he's got to make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I loved my
Trenton usually is here making people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know. That's right. That was.
When he's
it was
gone, I have to,
You know.
I have to step in.
Now that we have a camera, it's a little different. The pre-camera era was
yeah.
quite.
Hey, he's matured a little too, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Just a little. Yeah, just a little.
But I think we can talk about him because the odds of him watching Uncut are pretty slim.
Well, I hope he's somewhere warm. Shit.
I think he is. He sent me a.
Or darn.
He sent me a pin from a beach somewhere.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's in like Dominican Republic.
Did he send you the photograph of that guy giving him like a pedicure?
No, that is very common down there, though.
I'm like, I hope you gave that guy a big tip because you could not pay me enough to give Trent a pedicure. I can tell you that.
Oh,
I would not go. I would want to go within 10 feet of those feet.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I've never seen his feet. Thank God.
Well, I'm sure they're
Tired
fine,
of
but
walking into
or
a
maybe
dull
I'm
and
not so sure.
uninspiring workspace?
They're fine.
Want to inject some life into your
Oh
environment?
man,
Look no
yeah,
further
that's a
than
great place where he's at,
a local
though.
company that produces stunning interior
probably.
branding. From eye-catching
literally had this
murals
guy,
and
like,
window
you send
films
his-
to recognition and
he's lying in one of those
and more. We
beach
have the
lounge
expertise to
chairs.
transform your
And
cities. So,
you're so you see it. He's got the phone up by his eye, and you see kind of like his waist down. This guy like with one of those like scrapers on his foot. It's like, and then, like you have to go to the Dominican for that because you can't get Americans to do that.
Fox News.
Cheese grater.
Republican Senator Tim Scott
just can't get
endorsing
anyone to do
former
that job.
President
Taking a
Donald Trump
microblade
ahead of the
in
New
his foot.
Hampshire primary.
Oh, we still got time. Okay. How
I
much
got
time?
like 5 minutes.
Oh, gee, okay, we'll relax.
Nikki Haley.
Jesus, we gotta cut down this.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and listen to the car then because I'm going to my kids.
You gotta get this.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much for
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
thank you both very much. Appreciate you making it easy on us.
I'm stealing your elevator pitch for the streetcar.
Yeah, you can use that. It's going to be on my tombstone because
Yeah, you don't mind. Yeah.
it gets used a lot. But it does seem to put a perspective in place, and then same with my transportation corridor thing. But almost got a leg up.
Ready to solve
Yeah.
the problem. I
Hey,
really
as you have some of these tenants open, or if you secure someone for that 10th of Dodge, let us know. We'll put it in the newsletter and mention it.
Shoot us a text or whatever.
Yeah. Lula Bees is, we're just that time of the year. They're getting hit hard with this weather because of breakfast only. And
it's brutal. Yeah.
it is.
A wind chill advisory.
But thank you. I appreciate that. We'll, I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
See you later, Mike.
Yeah, feel free to reach out, whatever I can do for you guys.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Tonight, partly cloudy with temperatures as low as -4. The wind chill values as low as -20.
need to hear that.
And wind gusts 60 miles an
Pretend
hour.
you didn't.
Sorry. Forecast spike AC.
Yeah, next week's gonna be great weather. Well, seasonal, which will feel
Trying
like.
to go to.
It's gonna warm up on Monday, 36.
Yeah, that'll feel. That's just seasonal, but it'll feel awesome.
I'm trying to get out to winter games in Okoboji.
I'm Darcy
Winter
Dickman.
games.
36 is warm, only in Nebraska.
A very underrated event that happens in Okoboji in the middle of winter,
You know,
January.
I love it
They
up
do
there.
like a whole.
It snows a
slowly
lot,
developed into
but
like
to me, it's not much
more
cold.
cool, fun thing, but it's always been a big gathering. I mean, at one point, apparently, like 200,000 people come.
Oh my God.
To this, like 150,000 people.
Yeah, I think it's
Snowmobile
right in the
racing,
middle. I
polar
mean,
plunging into the lake. They put a
I think
car out
also
there. you take
Wisconsin
bets,
and
it's fun,
Illinois
it'll go
take the
down.
brunt of the
They
lakes.
do.
So,
Everyone's driving on the lake because it's
I
so
think
frozen.
it's
To all the bars,
the volume,
and
the
everything.
amount of
So if
snow
you
that
are
happens there,
boating and stuff
is
in the
massive. I
summertime.
think people complain about it so out on the driveway. Try Minnesota.
I've been out there on a snowmobile.
Now, Chicago, that's cold.
And knowing that there's 300
2
feet of
minutes.
water underneath you.
I'd
You're
never
right
did
next
it
to the
again.
Great
I
Lakes.
was like, someone was like, yeah, you don't go into the middle like that.
So I
And I was
order
like,
food
oh
on
shit, we were
Easy
right,
Cater
right.
for a meeting with
Oh, yeah,
the
they're-
But we've done a lot, and then you can snowmobile to different towns.
Because springs can cause ice to break up.
But I mean, this this year I think it's gonna be nice and thick.
Every time I go there, it's worth it.
I think it's gonna be phenomenal.
If I get into grad school there,
North in Omaha, so it's probably
Oh, it makes such a difference. It's always so much colder.
probably communication studies or mass media.
on
90
on Westlake as well.
seconds.
Oh, cool.
And then they do a huge kite parade now, all over Westlake. So you're there, all the kites are there flying, and
That would be fun.
I'm excited. I'm gonna bring the kids, and we're gonna have fun. I'm hoping we can get out there.
That would be. Like I said, I made it like over 50 years.
Yeah.
And I'm from Omaha. as you know. And I made it over 50 years of life before I ever went to Okoboji for the first time. Actually, I take that back. There was one time when I was cutting through, like in the 90s, and I remember just driving through it.
60 seconds.
Seeing Arnold's Park and all that. But to actually go there, I was like 51 by the
I just
time I
happen to
got
get to
there.
know it. I know it really well now.
I'll go back regularly because it's so cool. And you don't feel like you're in Iowa. You feel like you're somewhere more
It's got a really
touristy.
interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of native mythology behind the lake that surrounds that lake too, and kind of like a healing factor.
Really?
And I really feel like it's. I kind of like sense that. It's cool.
Hey, if not, we'll just pretend because it's so cool. Yeah.
30 seconds of bumper.
Completely Kids is excited to honor those who have helped us grow our mission over the past year. Join us for
So I got
this
just a
Together
few things I'll
Luncheon on
throw out
Wednesday,
there
March 20th, and see
from the
20
newsletter.
seconds.
impact on kids and
let's see what we
families in our
got.
community.
Hilton,
Awards
we
like the
talked Hilton. We've been
Completely
talking
Kids
downtown.
Collaboration Award.
I've got that in the lightning round.
Will be given to community partners, companies,
And we're back in 10.
Okay.
Our mission, because when people come together, we are stronger. Stronger for kids, stronger
gotta
for
read the
families,
Noddle
and
spot.
stronger for our community. Purchase your tickets at CompletelyKids.org.
Omaha's Freeman and the big airport project is just part of it. Chambers CEO Heath Mello, 8:15.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Jorge Sotolongo with you. Jorge is from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate, also a member of the City of Omaha Planning Board. Today, kindly substituting for Trenton Magid. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, and it is time now for our Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, which is brought to you by Noddle Companies, a national full-service real estate company headquartered right here in Omaha. Noddle Companies grows communities, turning the fashion scene on its head at Exarban Village with new retailers like A Priori and Status, and also serving incredible eats featuring Saffron Urban Kitchen, Rub, which is the new urban rotisserie, No Name Cafe. The list goes on and on and on. Hey, when it comes to Noddle Companies projects, keep your eyes peeled for the newest park entering the scene in North Downtown's Builders District, Omaha's newest place to be. That park is going to be between 16th and 17th, south of Cumming, just west of Kiewit Corp's global headquarters. A lot of cool stuff there. So in the Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight, we have a few things we want to highlight this week. First of all, steel beams have started going vertical at the construction site of Omaha's future Central Public Library near 72nd and Dodge. This is, to remind you, a $150 million project, 96,000 square feet, expect to open in 2026. Jorge, when you drive by 72nd and Dodge, to me, it feels like that project is going fast.
I agree.
They are. In fact, they started putting beams up vertically just during all of this this cold snap. I am impressed that these construction workers can keep doing these projects as awful as it's been the last couple of weeks. In fact, I just noticed when I was downtown earlier this week that the elevator, the concrete shear tower, the elevator core at the Mutual skyscraper, that even increased a story over the last week, and despite this terrible weather. So people are working hard in the weather.
God bless them.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not me, I got to confess. Hey, congratulations to the Farnham Hotel downtown, 13th and Farnham Street. The exact address, if you're an exact kind of person, is 1299 Farnham Street. But this is in the Landmark building, a 15-story building. The Farnham Hotel has been named as Marriott's 2023 Autograph Hotel of the Year. That is significant because Marriott Autograph has 198 hotel properties worldwide.
That's a great honor, honestly. I've stayed at a few Autograph hotels, and they are really cool.
Yeah, and I love that Farnham. Since I live here, I haven't stayed there, but I've been to Dynamite, the restaurant there, probably 4 or 5 times. Love that place. And the cocktail bars inside the Farnham Hotel are 2 of my favorite in town. One is called Catalyst, very cozy, comfortable. And then I kind of like just the lobby cocktail bar, the one that's right in the main lobby of the Farnham, right outside Dynamite. But I think those guys, Jason and Angie Fisher and the partners involved in it, hit it out of the park.
They did. And not an easy project, it's an adapt and reuse. So
yeah, totally.
Kudos to them.
So we've gotten a little bit of North Omaha redevelopment progress started. Workers have begun the process of demolishing the old Spencer Homes public housing project east, the Spencer Homes East. There were two sides to it. This is at 26th and Spencer Street on the north side. The World Herald reported about that this week. 6 apartment buildings have been vacant since June of 2022. That has caused a lot of consternation in the neighborhood, but just within the last few days, they've started pulling out the asbestos and taking debris out of the buildings. Those should be coming down. The area is a federal grant-backed redevelopment project, so hopefully we'll see some good, better stuff happening in that area.
There's been a lot of coordination there for a long time, and just so people know, there was years of work of relocating people respectfully and helping them get to a different home so that they can free up this thing for redevelopment.
And that's a good point. It's not like you're going to take the residents and just abruptly.
They took a lot of care into doing it. It's been several years now.
Yeah, it's a very good point. People have worked very hard on that. In Sarpy County, AEF Academy will hold a ribbon cutting January 31st, 4 p.m. for its new indoor basketball training and development facility at 9226 South 99th Circle. In English, that's 99th and Portal Road. AEF stands for Attitude, Effort, and Focus, and they really have a very cool model for basketball development. That new facility, that new indoor training facility in Papillion will have 3 basketball courts, and like we said, ribbon cutting coming on January 31st. All right, I've got some economic indicators from the Greater Omaha Chamber that I wanted to share with you, Jorge.
All right, hit me with it.
All right, you're going to like these. Now, this is from November of 2023, and you might be saying, November, it's January of 24. It takes a while to process this stuff and get all the data, so there's a little bit of a couple-month delay. But so this is the most recent that we have, and got some cool things to report. First of all, the unemployment rate remained the same, 2.4% in November, and that is slightly higher than the Nebraska average of 2.1, but below the U.S. average of 3.6. We always have low unemployment in Omaha.
That's good. I mean, that just shows how stable we've been, honestly.
Yeah, especially vis-a-vis cities, larger cities like our size and up. We always have one of the lowest unemployment rates, which is certainly a good thing. Looking at check out this statistic. Compared to 5 years ago, the Omaha Metro's median household income raised 23%, from $64,561 per household in 2018 to $79,186 in 2022. So
that is incredible.
It's probably raised a lot since 2022. So that's really encouraging. And you know how everyone talks about how work from home, and it seems like so many people are working from home. And it is significant. We've had a huge increase in people in Omaha, among Omaha residents who work from home since 2018. But it is only at 10.8% right now. Doesn't it feel like more people than that work from home?
It does, but you can kind of feel the wave shifting a little bit back toward at least hybrid.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And a couple other things. Airline passenger traffic, comparing November of 2023 to November of 2022, up 8.3%. Single-family construction permits, comparing November of 23 to November of the year prior, up over 30%. Now, commercial construction permits during that same time were down, negative 17.7%, probably because of interest rates.
To be expected.
And that's been tough in the commercial real estate industry. Those interest rates doubled.
It's true. The good thing is that we have different asset classes. Unlike residential is just residential, but we have industrial, we have office, we have retail, we have all these other things. And honestly, some of them perform differently than others.
Well, we're going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, we will have the Turner Construction Lightning Round. A few things on the list that you don't want to miss. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Jorge Sotolongo substituting for Trenton on Grow Omaha. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Got 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Of commercial?
Yep.
And then how much? Well, we have about 3 minutes or so.
So let's see.
Tune into our sister station 93.3 Wolf on the free iHeartRadio
Looking about 4 minutes.
Oh,
Eric with D&M Roofing.
luxurious amounts.
Yeah, I will
So
take
4
you
minutes
out.
of what do we do?
Lightning round. We got
56:44. I'll be hitting your bumper.
I love how Jay Lerner's
56
cigar
what?
room made this.
56:44. I'm going to hit your 30-second bumper.
56:44. Okay.
And I've got the signs to help you.
Oh, I like. We got every week. There's something new from this guy that makes me smile. Yeah. Okay.
I like how Jay Lerner's cigar thing made it on the list. I heard about it, and I saw the article.
Lerner had posted on their social media.
90 seconds.
And I looked at it, I'm like, God, I should put that in the newsletter. Because did you see the pictures of it?
Yeah.
It is so cool.
It was $700,000.
Oh, God, I don't doubt it.
That's what I heard from someone at Lerner.
You could build a hell of a house in Omaha for $700,000.
And it's not even that big.
It's 800 square foot total. It is an 800 square foot building in his backyard.
Yeah, all because his wife was like, I don't want you leaving, smoke more, and you gotta, it was like, so he didn't have to leave, essentially, but not be in the house.
You know what? Money is all relevant.
Yeah.
Is that a business too, though?
What's that?
Is that a business as well?
It's just his house.
Personal residence.
It's just as in his backyard, he built 800 square foot
Click the
cigar.
link in the newsletter. It's like this tiny little building.
And Cigar Aficionado is like a huge, big time magazine. I mean, I used to get this growing up. My dad always had it coming to the house, so I remember it well. But
I'm sure some of the people in Lerner were shocked to see it. And by the way,
there's a cool cigar club coming
30 seconds.
Hartwood Capital Apiary.
The average, the clicks on the link compared to link clicks normally this week is about 140 higher than usual.
Really?
It's that.
15
That's what they're all
seconds.
clicking on.
That's so funny.
Everyone wants to see Jay's
We're back in 10.
and let them beat the national
And the architecture on it.
Helados Locos, so you can see that.
Sure, yeah. Helados Locos.
Helados Locos.
Crazy ice cream.
Yep. NMLS number 2376.
I always order Tay
Hi, it's
Helados
Scott
when I'm in
Voorhees. I took a memorable
Mexico.
call years ago
Have
from
my
a
iced tea.
whitey guy complaining about getting snowed
Question
in.
for you that after the
It's
show.
been reposted on the Steve Apple and Friends podcast link, Scott Voorhees page, KFAB.
And welcome back to the show. It's time for your Turner Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a short period of time. Turner Construction is building the future with full-time employees here in Omaha that know the Nebraska economy, the Nebraska community, the Nebraska construction scene as good or better than any you'll find in the industry. Turner Construction is famous for doing all sizes of projects, from the very big, like practically rebuilding Offutt Air Force Base, to retail build-outs and storefront build-outs and everything in between. They work with you. We strongly recommend that you use Turner Construction for your next project. And by the way, if you are in the construction trades and you want a great place to work, you will love working at Turner Construction. They treat their people like gold, and it shows because the quality of the work is top-notch. Turner Construction, sponsor of the Lightning Round. Jorge Sotolongo is with me here, and we've got a few things we're going to start out with today. First of all, a good friend of Grow Omaha, Javier Trujillo. He is the owner of Javi's Tacos. He has opened a couple new restaurants. We already told you a few weeks ago that he had opened Time to Rise and Shine on 204th Street. Well, right next door, this Monday, he is opening a sports bar called Frosty Mug Sports Bar. And then just within the last week or two, at 173rd and West Center Road, he opened Helados Locos, an ice cream store. Jorge, Helados Locos. That sounds like it, he's going to be selling, or is selling, traditional Hispanic desserts there.
Yes, and they're coming from Típico Helados, which is on 21st and Q. You guys should all go check that place out. It's a really sweet, cute little ice cream shop in South Omaha.
And it's amazingly delicious.
It is amazingly delicious.
So that's all stuff to look forward to, courtesy of Javi. And then we've got the Hilton Omaha Hotel, the biggest hotel in the state, located at 10th and Cass downtown. They plan to open a new in-house restaurant in March, and they've got a celebrity chef going to be there. Marvin Woods has worked in London, 3-time published cookbook author, 4-year host of an Emmy-nominated show on Turner Networks. So you'll have a new food option in the Hilton Hotel coming soon.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that too. Hey, Taqueria Tijuana has opened a second location, 122nd and K Street. That's part of the L Street Marketplace. Jorge, you ever been to the original one?
Oh, all the time. I'm proud of all these South O restaurants branching out and getting second locations. It's testament to how good they've been.
It's pretty cool. You used to live in South O and be a regular frequenter.
Right on 24th Street.
Yeah, but now you're a West O guy, kind of like me.
Yeah, I'm at 132nd and Dodge. That's kind of like smack dab in the middle now.
You're like a Midtown guy.
Yeah, that's Midtown in my
That's
mind.
Midtown. Beam Light, BEEM, Beam Light Sauna Omaha plans to open in March. In the Loveland Center near 90th and Center. This business offers light therapy treatment. So they have things like infrared, red light, chromotherapy. Based in North Carolina, 22 locations either open or planning to open soon. Most are in the Southeast, East Coast area. So that's kind of a cool retail brand to come to town.
I've been in one of those saunas before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you get hot?
Yeah, a little bit. It's like, I don't know. Light. It's light.
Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh has opened a standalone convenience store and gas station southwest of 204th and West Center Road. And then we have two fitness businesses to report. We mentioned Vasa Fitness coming to 144th and West Center Road in the old Shopko space. They are now open. 62,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Not a small fitness. And then a much smaller fitness business, 4,500 square feet, Regency Fitness Club has opened 107th and Pacific inside the Regency Landing Development. This is right near Pacific and Interstate 680. This is more of kind of like a smaller niche club, if you will, but they do have 24/7 access for members.
Very cool.
That's kind of, and that's the development that has, they've got... Early Bird is in there. The Blue Sky Pickleball Place. A couple other Corkscrew?
Corkscrew. That's right.
Corkscrew. I love the place. Great lunch. I've been there for lunch several times.
Twisted Cork.
Is it Twisted Cork?
Yeah.
I said, Corkscrew's in Rockbrook.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I get Corkscrew, Twisted Cork, and
then there's a Twisted Fork.
in the old market.
In the old market. Oh. I always have to check myself between Twisted Fork and Cork, although Twisted Cork is amazing. They have a great, great legacy there.
Music's playing, so we're out of here. Jorge Sotolongo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Trenton will be back next week. We appreciate you being here. The show's been brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. I'm Jeff Beals. Trenton and I will chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
We're clear.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.